Hey guys, Tarke here, and following on from yesterday's video, talking about issues I had with Syndicate and the low occurrence rate, and how there seems to be growing concern that we're maybe being spread a little too thinly across all the different masters. I've come up with what in my mind is an elegant solution, and is actually a solution I came up with on November 3rd, 2018, before I even knew about the Syndicate system and how the previous leagues would be reintroduced. So I'm just going to very briefly play a section here, and then I'll go into like the breakdown.
I think you should be able to like align yourself. Another system I kind of like the idea with, if not this, was like you align yourself to a master, and then you're then with that getting reputation with that guy until you choose to do something else.
So this was before we even knew about master reworks, and this was focused about almost hideout kind of stuff. But it was talking about how you have favor with certain masters to buy certain cosmetics, like the hideout stuff. And I was saying it'd be really good that if you enjoyed a particular kind of mission, for example, you really enjoyed Torah missions, you could align yourself with Torah, meaning you'd see more Torah spawns and less of all the other masters because you enjoy that gameplay. Well, what if we took that exact idea that I came up with then, and then have it with the new reworked masters? So taking the numbers from the dev manifesto post here, the current numbers that we have with masters are as follow. So overall, there is currently a 40% chance for a master encounter to spawn in maps. It used to be 33, it got buffed with the addition of Jun. I mean, there's an 8% chance per master with random encounters, right? So if you wanted, there's an 8% chance for Jun to pop up in random maps. When it comes to daily Atlas objectives, there is a 20% chance on completing a map to have an Atlas objective appear. So it would be 4% chance per master. What if we could align ourselves so we could pick one master, we would see a boosted rate of that, and we'd see the others less. So you'd still like a percentage from the others, add it onto this. I'll let GGG come up with like what the numbers will be. Don't try and get lost in the exact fine math, just think of it as a kind of idea. Now, you'd obviously say, well, Tarke, everyone just pick Nico because Nico's the best. Well, actually, this solves a lot of other problems, and there isn't really a clear-cut best master. So I was watching a video from a guy called Milky Slice, a very well-known PoE player who did the RF Totem videos and stuff, and he was talking about how he felt he couldn't focus on what he wanted to do. He wanted to map, and he was being dragged out of other content. And it was an issue because he's on a limited schedule. He wants to map and he has to go do this. He has to go do this. He has to go do that. Well, for players like that who feel like they can't just map and do what they want to do, they could choose to align themselves with either Einhar or Zana. So if you align yourself to Einhar, you have less interruption to your mapping flow. This would mean you would see less Juns, you would see less Alvas, and you'd see less Nikos. Meaning you'd have less temples popping up. You'd still have temples, but there'd be less temples breaking your mapping flow. There'd be less sulfite, so you would cap out on sulfite slower, less interruption to your mapping. You would have less safe houses, less interruption to your mapping. Now, with Einhar, you would get access to legacy uniques. You would have aspects, increased chance of getting the aspects, because you'd see more Einhars. You'd have a higher chance of seeing the aspect bosses. So you'd have more access to that stuff, and you'd have more access to the niche Einhar crafting recipes. With Zana, there's obviously a less interruption to mapping because you're just getting more maps. This would be huge for start of League because you'd get a big boost to your Atlas progression, and this would be very helpful for red tier map sustain. So if you're someone start of League trying to build up your Atlas, you can align yourself with Zana. This will make Atlas progression much, much easier, and people who only want to chain like tier 16 bosses and Guardians and all that stuff, big boost to those guys as well. So perfect for those guys. Then, what about people who want to just do Nico? If you align yourself with Nico, you get more access to Delve, fossils, and then stuff like currency, etc. So if you're someone who wants to ladder push with Nico, align yourself that way, get more of that. If you want to fossil farm, align yourself, more access to that. If you align yourself to Alva, you'd get more access to min-maxing with double vals on both gear and gems. So if you're at the end of a league feeling a bit bored, you just want to like YOLO double corrupt all of your gear, you could align yourself with Alva, and then over a couple of days you can do all of that stuff. Let's say at start of league and you're playing a gem where you need a level 21 Val gem. Well, this is how you could do it. So let's say you wanted the level 21 Val arcs. You could level a bunch of arcs, align with Alva, you're more likely to get the gem room, and you get the gear you need more accessibly that way. This would be a massive boost for Trade League and SSF style players. Trade League players would have more control over what they want to do with their content, and SSF players would be able to target farm the things they need. So let's say that you wanted the trap gloves and your SSF, you can't buy it. Align with Alva, you can get more trap rooms, you get the uniques you want more regularly. What about with Jun? So, if you align yourself with Jun, you'd get more access to veiled items. Veiled items is just crucial for unlocking the crafting recipes. Veiled items are very strong this league with these synthesis crafts. If you wanted to level Empowers or Enlightens, you could target farm Tora for gem XP. If you need white sockets for like your Death's Oath build, you could target Varici. Let's say you're playing a CI build, you want 28% quality on your gear. If you want Scarabs, just for more everything, you could go Scarabs, pure Breachstones. Let's say you want your Devouring Diadem, you could target farm Masterminds. So let's say you want to Exalted Slam your gear, you could go for Leos, Legacy Uniques, etc, etc. It's not the perfect system. I'm sure there are flaws with this thought process. I'm sure that you would have to rebalance rewards around the fact that there were more Nico spawns or whatever. But I think this is a very elegant system which kind of pleases everyone. I want way more Jun in the game, but people saying, no Tarke, Syndicate is way too overpowered, they need to remove it completely. Well, I could align myself with Jun, I could get the more Jun I wanted, and for the people who hate Jun, if they align themselves with Nico, they're seeing less Syndicate encounters. Everyone wins. There was a guy on Reddit earlier who said that he wanted an Ironheart pet and he'd always have Ironheart following him around. He could have himself aligned with Ironheart to enjoy Ironheart more often. I think this is a perfect system because I came up with it last year. Anyway, I'm Tarke. That's my idea. I got Cat MTX. Maybe we could get this eventually. Have a good day. Bye-bye.